Yep. Yeah, what's going on, family? It's your man B Miles coming to you live once again with another video for the B Miles 84 Conscious channel. And this afternoon, I'm going to come to y'all with a video talking about Bryant comments on Anthem protests. And when I took a look at the comments, so from Bryant and all that, man, it's clearly coming from a sunken place. And I'm actually going to go on record and say this though, man. I do understand that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but at the same time, when I'm looking at the comments of what Bryant is saying, it's literally coming from a coon perspective. And as a matter of fact, I'm definitely going to say Bryant has really lumped himself in the conversation and actually the category of a Ray Lewis, like a Cam Newton, somebody like a Jason Whitlock, somebody like a Tim Brown now, even Jermichael Finley, and all these other athletes who want to be out there shucking and jiving and cooning. Because for the most part, my thing is this though, man. I do understand that you have a bottom line and all that, and I really do understand that you got a family to feed, but at the same time though, bruh, you're talking about it's not the time or the place to be doing something like that. But at the same time, though, Bryant, you got to ask yourself the question. When would it ever be the right time to do a protest when it comes to social justice, for your people? Because my thing is this. If you really love your people, you should be able to say something. I'm not saying you got to do what Colin Kaepernick has done, but I'm just saying this. At least show the initiative that you really care, that you really care about it. But of course, you coming off as one of these Negroes because you're so worried about your brain. And of course, Jerry Jones already got you by the ball sick anyway, because he already said, if I catch any of y'all protesting, I'm going to kick you off of the team. And mind you, you said that when you got drafted, that the guy, that the Dallas Cowboys was actually the team that you grew up out of lines, and that's the team that you want to play for. So I do understand, from your business perspective, you don't want to affect your business, but at the same time, you got to ask yourself this question, Mr. Bryant. When it came down to, when it came down to the civil rights movement and all that, you don't think for one second that white America was saying this is not the time or the place to be doing that? When they was up in there, when they was up in there having these sit-ins, when they was having the bus boycott by Martin Luther King, you don't think for one second, that when the Nation of Islam with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X was out there, not necessarily just protesting, but going up against systematic racism, white supremacy, you don't think for one second that it wasn't upsetting them, that it wasn't making them mad, that any time that J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI director, going to actually say, I want to stop the rise of a black messiah who will unify and electrify people and going to assassinate leaders who, who are your ancestors. You don't think for one second that they wasn't saying that in the back of their mind? That you don't think for one second that that wasn't bothering them? Come on now, man. You're talking about it's not the time or the place, but at the same time, they were actually athletes that were out there doing it. I mean, you don't think for one second that what Muhammad Ali was actually told them, I'm not going to war. You don't think for one second that they wasn't pissed off, or that wasn't a time or place for them to be saying that? Come on now, man. Think about that shit, man. What the fuck are you thinking about? And at the same time, you got a hell of a nerve, because the funny thing I notice every time when they come to these athletes, when they want to get in trouble, they always want to clean up the image, but at the same time, that's cool, but they always want to be shucking and jiving. You feel me? Because it wasn't that long ago when you was, when you came into the league, you was walking in the mall, with your pants sagging, you was walking around up on that thug nigga shit, and not to mention you was the same Negro that was up there, beating on your moms and all that. Come on now, man. So don't be a hypocrite. Because like I said though, man, when it comes down to the protests, I do understand everybody's going to have a different point of view, but my thing is this though, man. When would it ever be a good time to protest? You feel me? Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to the white establishment, it's never going to be the right time and the place. Why? Because it's going to upset them, and at the same time, it's going to make them feel uncomfortable, because they want us to be weak, docile, punctified, and subservient. So when it comes down to the protest, it's going to make them feel uncomfortable. It is supposed to make them feel uncomfortable. Why? Because you're voicing something that is displeasing you, and something that is wrong, and something that is immoral and inhumane. So you gotta ask yourself the question, bro. So so what are you going to say if one of the police officers, one of these race soldiers, wind up killing your mom, or maybe your cousin, or one of your family members? What the fuck are you going to say then? That would be my question, Mr. Bryant. And like I said, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but you got a hell of a nerve though, bro, because like I said, when it came down to even other athletes, Jim Brown, Bill Russell, Like I said, Muhammad Ali, you know, when it came, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know, when it came down to those athletes, they all came together collectively and they said, you know what, you know, we're going to take a stand up against racism and all that. And I say to myself, why not? So you don't think for 1 second that those athletes wasn't going through the same thing back in the day? Nothing has changed. So I don't know if we really need a history lesson, Mr. Des Bryant, but it's really coming from a sunken place. And like I said, you entitled to your own opinion, and I do understand you got a family to feed, but guess what? Someone just sacrificed their livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Someone sacrificed their livelihood just so you could be out there playing on the football field, who sacrificed millions of dollars, and that is my man Colin Kaepernick. He sacrificed millions of dollars so you could continuously to feed your fucking family. You feel me? And at the same time, to stand up for the rights for you and all other peoples of color. So I don't want to hear nothing about that, man. This not the time and the place. I love my black people. I got a family to feed. Come on, man. It's so hypocritical what you're saying. I know you got a family to feed. We all got families to feed. But come on now, bruh. You know what I mean? It's like, get the fuck out of here with that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? With that nonsense. Because when it came down to like us going up against racism, it's going to make them feel uncomfortable. Why? Because they want us to be subservient, weak, and docile and turn the other cheek. You understand where I'm coming from, Des Bryant? So it's never going to be the right time to protest in front of the white establishment. But guess what? It's supposed to make them feel uncomfortable. But of course, Jerry Jones got you by your ball sack and all that. And I definitely see that the slave, you know what I mean? I definitely see that the slave master and the colonizer already got you by your fucking neck and your balls. And guess what? You in the sunken place. And you already on that coon train. And your nigga wake up call is coming. So I'm not too worried about that. So I have to put together this video and all that, man. You know, Tom, you know what I mean, talk about, you know, what Des Bryant said, you know, shed my thoughts up on it, shed some light up on the subject. Keep on liking and subscribing to my channel. I always appreciate the love. And this is B Miles coming to you live once again from the B Miles 84 Conscious channel. One love once again. Peace.